Good morning, everyone. You are on the Captain German channel, and I am indeed that captain. And we are having our morning coffee because we are starting our new episode. And you know where we are, because I am sure you have been following our journey. So there, we are currently with you on an atoll in the middle of the ocean. And it is called Minerva Reef, which is simply located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, very far from the main places where people can live. And I'll say more, here there is no land. There is just a reef that waves break against. And inside it is a smooth body of water. Do you see that boat? They arrived last night, I don't know from where, but they weren't here and now they've appeared. But let me show you how we're anchored. In front, this blue water is already about 6 meters deep, and beyond it is a barrier reef where the waves break. Honestly, I don't even know what to show you because it all looks like this. Calm water. And there the waves break. Well, that's the whole reef. There is no land here, so I don't know how to interestingly show it to you. Minerva Reef is unique in that it has absolutely no land, and it is located quite far at a distance of 270 nautical miles from Nuku'alofa, Tonga. That is, this reef does not fall under the concept of the country's economic zone. And since there is no land, anyone can claim this area territory. Therefore, in the 1970s, a libertarian state was established on Minerva Atoll, which existed for a very short time. The Kingdom of Tonga sent their military there, who took the waters away from the libertarians. Fiji also claimed this reef, but now, according to all international laws, Minerva belongs to the Kingdom of Tonga. Minerva Reef consists of two atolls, northern and southern. The southern is a little smaller. The northern is slightly larger, with more even water. Folks, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because it's important to us. You know that YouTube doesn't really bring any money, and I'm doing this solely as a hobby. And if I see numbers that make me happy, I want to keep making this content, cool content. Because where we are filming, people practically don't come here. So please subscribe to the channel, check the bell, because you will receive notifications from these wonderful places. Let's go. You could say that we are ready to gather in order to explore what is here on these magnificent reefs. So, well, it seems we are packed and ready. We have fins and masks here, a small tank, guns. So we're also taking a radio with us just in case. And now we're going to lower the dinghy. You also asked to show how it's done. It's not difficult, watch. We have 3 ropes here, 2 at the back, and they go to the halyard. And it's led outside the jacks. And Dina has a winch. Right, Dina, raise it. And also, you bring it out like this. And now Dina is starting to lower it. The dinghy is in the water. Actually, this reef, or rather Minerva Reef, is an atoll with a lagoon inside. And on the edge, there is a barrier reef that protects this inner lagoon from ocean swells, from ocean waves. And what we are seeing now is right next to the boat. And of course, this reef is not the richest, so to speak. But it's cool because it's an absolutely wild place in nature, just as it is and has formed over millions of years.
Yes, it's also interesting that since there are no human settlements here, the fish are not scared at all. That is unlike other places where tourists visit more often and possibly fishing occurs more frequently. Here they are absolutely not scared. Here, the fish are not scared, the lobsters are not scared. And it's interesting that here the fish grow to some incredible sizes. We were told that this is also because there was no hunting for them here. That is, in places where they are caught more often, they do not grow to such sizes. But here they live long and happy life. And the largest parrotfish we have ever seen, we encountered them right here. They reach somewhere up to 70, probably even 80 centimeters. In general,
We will show
giants.
this, then we will have them when we go outside the reef. But here in the inner waters, it's mostly not even corals, but stones. And in these stones, a large number of shells live. These, what are they called? Clam shells. And they are big, they are huge, and a large number of reef fish inhabit around these stones.
I would say that after all, these are not exactly stones, these are remnants of corals, because in them
Caves, and beneath them, always caves. That is, it is just a favorite place for fish. They hide there. I think that some of them are probably nocturnal fish, and they stay there during the day. Some are diurnal, but in general, it's a good place for them to hide from the sun and the bottom. There are also many lobsters here, and that was the main purpose for which I wanted these rocks. Well, lobster is with claws, but they are called that here. These are langoustines because of crayfish. They don't have claws, they only have legs and big feelers and antennas. They sit under the rocks and you can hunt them, which is actually what I'm doing because we have an idea to get a tasty dinner today.
yes, delicious, elite. They grow to some incredible sizes here too. These are the largest we have ever caught. It's here.
Hunting them is very easy. You dive under the rock, see the feelers sticking out from beneath the rock, and simply shoot at it. Actually, you're supposed to catch them either by hand, according to the rules, or with a special loop. But we don't have that.
So here I saw this magnificent little character. That's how it flowed. And that's why I noticed it, because of its strange movements. It turned out to be a sea slug, which is a type of gastropod that doesn't have a shell. But it looks like a slug with what seems like many butterfly wings on it. Sea slug, yes. It is only a few centimeters long, about 4 centimeters in size. So it's not that easy to notice, but it's incredibly beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful sea creatures I've ever encountered. Yeah, here, of course, GoPro. Not super suitable for such filming. But here's a photo of this magnificent little monster for your understanding. It looks like something from another world. In English, it is called Sears nigricans. There is very little information about it. It is one of the most beautiful representatives of this genus. In Russian, it's called something like a sea slug butterfly or something like that. They are widely spread. We are in the Pacific Islands. Well, in the western part of the Pacific Ocean. It looks like, I don't know, many small butterflies have settled on something like some sort of plumage, and it uses them for moving around. So when it decides to go somewhere, it flaps these little wings, and that's how it moves. Then when it decides it wants to land, it stops flapping and just drops to the ground. Encountering such a handsome creature is a great fortune. They are small and hard to spot, but I was lucky that it was on the move, swimming, and so I saw it. Many people collect photographs of such things. Now I will collect them too. This is the second in my collection of such sea slugs.
We only went, by the way, to the inner part of the reef to see what's inside. Actually, the reef, well, let's say, so not really anything special, but here it's just the inner part, some rocks, and under them these lobsters live, which you can hunt. There are lots of fish. I think that if you cast from the board here, you'll catch something right away. But we came here just to catch lobsters and eat them. And that's what we're doing. Out of these 3 lobsters, we got 3 such tails, and now they will go here on the grill. So tonight we will have these self-caught grilled lobsters for dinner. You see, right now the water is quite calm and not choppy, just little waves, because it's low tide now, meaning less water and a reef. When it's high tide, the water rises and not all the waves break against the reef. They continue to come in. So at high tide, it gets a little choppy here. Therefore, you need to understand this feature and stop where you see the reef is higher. Over there, it's better to stop more to the left. Then it will be less. Have you ever seen such packaging? This is a regular butter, just in a tin can.
Well, the ones that can be stored without a refrigerator, but we have many of those,
Oh yeah,
right?
and then you have to keep it in the fridge. It's cool that it's in a tin can. The packaging is really weird in general.
Listen, it's super convenient when you don't have space in the fridge and you need
Agree.
to stock up a lot. We've had it for several months already.
So, are we opening the night grill? Ignite, preheat. So, the grill is heating up. Let's leave it and not disturb it. Okay, here is our wonderful food. These little lobsters. Here, take it.
Let's bring it here. We will break it apart.
Drink it. This is our oil with a bit of garlic. And here we have...
Is it still hot?
Well, of course it's from the grill here. Eat.
Magnificent. Ready.
One is done. Well, enjoy your meal. Go ahead, try this lobster.
Enjoy your meal too.
Pacific, can you feel the difference from the Atlantic?
Stunning. I think it's no different in size.
The size is nice. It's pleasant to catch and eat. That's it, friends. Bon appetit. We're off to do our own thing, accompanied by some wine. Our wetsuits didn't dry since yesterday. It's really nasty to wear them. I'm standing here and water is dripping from my elbows.
Leave me alone.
We are moving on to see what else is interesting here. Now we went to another spot. This is also inside the barrier reef because from our point of view it is safer, and it is very beautiful here because the water is very clear and blue, such bright colors, vivid, rich, just magnificent.
There are many shells here. Most of them are alive. I don't take them, but I'm lifting it up to show Sergey and to show it to the camera. Now this is what's in my hands. Right now this shell is called a spider conch, and this is a female specimen. She has such huge fingers. I don't know what to call them, spikes. And when they are big like this, it means this is a female. If they were small and short, it would be a boy. Here I found it. This is a tiger cone shell. It's empty, it's kind of worn out and dirty, but I will definitely clean it and it will be in my collection. Also here.
There is a yellow fish. It's the highlight of the program. We love to encounter them. They're always so big and cute. Here's another cone.
Yes, it's so beautiful. We love to welcome them. They are always so big and cute. Here's another cone. It will also go in the collection. Collecting cones can be very dangerous. They are often super poisonous, but usually if it is lying with the opening facing upwards, it means it's an empty cone. There's nobody inside. You can take it. In general, all shells, cones, almost all of them are poisonous to some extent, but some of them are super poisonous, downright fatal. They all have a spike that shoots out like a harpoon. If necessary, they use it for hunting. They hunt small fish and other shells, thus paralyzing their prey. The most dangerous of them is the geographic cone, the marble cone. And the rest I will show you from my collection, which are the most dangerous. I have them, but I took them when I was already on the beach, without actually the snail itself, just the shell. If you see something underwater and are not sure whether it is alive or not, it is better not to approach it at all. They are very dangerous predators.
Their venom is so dangerous, 1,000 times more dangerous than cobra venom. Meaning if it stings, the chances of survival are 0.0. There is no antidote, which is practically a guarantee of death. So you need to understand how dangerous it is and just do not pick them up, because this is, well, it's not worth the risk to see what's lying there on the ground.
Next, I came across a funny flounder on my way. It was quite small and not timid at all. I practically had to touch it to make it move. I just happened to have these spider cone things in my hands.
White-tip sharks can be aggressive. They do not see humans as prey and do not hunt them, but they can show aggression and snap if something bothers them. If it's a shark and it's swimming away, then of course you can swim after it and film. But if it starts getting nervous and behaving badly, then it's better, of course. While Dean is studying the wildlife around, I am hunting lobsters, and if you get some practice, so it's possible to catch them quite easily, and especially in this area where there are an incredible number of them. You can catch enough for dinner in about 15 minutes, or for 2, or for a feast. Therefore, all I was doing was diving. You hold your breath a bit longer, look carefully under the rocks where you see the antennae sticking out. You start looking where it is hiding and shoot. Sometimes there is a difficulty that the spear itself can get stuck somewhere there inside, and it will be very hard to get it out, as if there are options. There's none, because it needs to be retrieved since there are no spares, so you have to be very careful not to lose the equipment that allows you to get delicious food. Seven crucians, such nice ones. There are even quite large ones here, as big as a cat. So here are our buddies. You see them in proportion, 7 of them. We decided to leave the claws this time because we're going to make curry lobster from the claws. It's a tasty thing, but it will take some effort when eating it.
Oh, what's going on here? Crawfish are boiling.
Alright, this will go on the grill tomorrow, and this will go into the refrigerator for the day after tomorrow, into the freezer. So now we are going to have lobster curry.
And there are 2 here as well, by the way, which will later go into the fridge.
We will have Olivia's salad with lobster.
Sort of.
Stylish. Oh, curry. Looks good.
Red pepper.
Red hot chili pepper.
I don't know how long we will be eating it.
Alright, let's eat this today.
Someone is playing over there.
Let's eat with music playing.
We sailed on down to Minerva, where the water shines so blue. The mushu danced on the ocean as the southern breeze blew through. My baby chills the champagne in the fridge below, while I dive in deep waters where the finest lobsters grow. Oh yeah, dive in deep waters where the finest lobsters grow.
In short, we decided to move to this side where the channel itself is, because we want to see it. Because at this point there were promised sharks and we want to watch them. So we moved to another place. We will go there today to see the fish. And here we have such beauty. We are at 15 meters, quickly turning around.
The shark is pulling on the butt.
Maybe. Here you see such a gap, This is all the entrance here to the atoll. And we will go here on the right side. We will dive there, dive in sport. After we explored the entire inner water area, we decided to go outside the reef. But I want to tell you about our fears, why this type of event is generally quite risky. If you go beyond the reef on a dinghy and something happens to the motor, then you have one path to the open ocean. And if, let's say, there are many boats at anchorage, that's not a problem. You take a radio with you and start yelling, someone will come and pick you up and bring you back. And if you are standing alone here, you need to be super careful, understand what you're doing, and have a plan B, like dropping an anchor if you start to be carried away somewhere.
Have oars with you.
The current at the exit of the atoll can be very strong. And with oars, where are you? There, you'll row to we were lucky. In this regard, there was a boat nearby and we swam up to them and asked to turn on the radio on channel 610, just in case. So we could communicate with them, and it gave us some kind of confidence that we will be in the safe zone.
There was also a moment that we didn't take into account the first time, so we didn't make it to the reef exit on the first day as we wanted, you know. So the thing is, Ati, it's important to take a phone with a GPS because with the distances on this atoll, we thought we knew where to go on the dinghy, but it turned out we didn't quite get there.
It's completely round, no landmarks.
There are no landmarks, and the point is that it is important to take a phone with some kind of GPS to understand which direction you are moving in and which
Well,
direction
we're
you
smart.
need
We
to go.
decided to go without a phone. We know everything anyway. We see everything anyway, really.
Well, I trusted this person, Jan, who knows everything, sees everything in us, and clearly understands where to go. And in the end, we didn't arrive where we intended, but it was fun because we arrived at the most beautiful place with the most beautiful coral pillars and the most fish. But we reached the reef exit the next day because traveling in the dinghy along the entire diameter takes too long. With waves and choppy water, it is generally unpleasant, so we postponed it to the next day.
And the water is so bumpy in general, it's unpleasant. So we postponed it to the next day. But now we are at the barrier reef and we have left the atoll. This place is obviously amazing. The only thing is we didn't see sharks here, as our friends who had been here before told us. But the reef itself, which is outside, is something incredible. It's just massive, huge. There are such canyons that descend to great depths. Overall, I was just incredibly amazed.
I wasn't really thrilled. I can't say I liked it a lot, but the sheer coral wall is nice, and the fact that the fish are the biggest in size, yes, but in fact there weren't really such vibrant, colorful or super rich corals, and a large variety of species there. In my opinion, I liked the inside the most.
I agree that there wasn't much species diversity here, and that it's more about rocks than coral. But it's like when you look at it, there's a big panorama, there's perspective, and you feel how small you are and how huge all these rocks really are. These parts, which are about 60 to 70 centimeters long, I have never seen anything like them in my life.
The fish are huge, really, the biggest we've encountered, but that's not what I like most about the reefs. The rest, I don't know. I like the inside more. And firstly, it's also
I
calmer.
like what is called the fish nursery, where fish swim in large schools around, and you are right in the middle.
Fish school.
Yes, fish school. And for example, liked it because the fish are not timid and there are just thousands of them around you?
Yeah, we ended up seeing the same school of mackerel twice. They were all quite large and not scared at all, so we swam right along with them.
They swim around and you can almost touch them with your hands. You reach out, usually fish swim away, but these don't go anywhere.
They have no legs.
And it doesn't peck because it doesn't have a beak, right? But moments like these, you realize how cool living nature is. And
where there are no people.
yes, and it's rich where there are no people, and it's all beyond the reef. And you realize that just a little further, there are already several kilometers of depth, and you are between this atoll and those kilometers. And here you have Mali, a small piece of land that you see below you, and you realize the vastness of the ocean. The vastness of this island is enormous. That's what I liked about being outside this atoll.
You lack adrenaline in your life.
Probably. But if we, by the way, if we didn't snorkel, took diving equipment here, these canyons, we could go down. It's not deep, only about 10 meters, so we could explore these caves. There is no strong
I
current.
don't like diving in there because you can get caught on something and panic. And when you're holding your breath there, in short, I don't go into such
Well,
holes.
of course, if using tanks, it would be easier here, but actually all the beauty at the reefs is practically at the surface. So taking diving equipment to look at the rocks from below, it seems to me, is not the most interesting thing you can do.
It makes sense. When you have to watch out for some sharks and swim for a long time, maybe look for shells. Oh, I think about this all the time because often dead shells are covered with sand. So sometimes it makes sense to rummage thoroughly on the bottom, but I dove down, rummaged, dove down.
Well, in
rummaged.
this case, the equipment simply adds autonomy when underwater. Not so much to dive deeper or to look deeper, but for example, if you descended to a depth of 3 meters, lay on the bottom and sat there for 10 minutes, looked around there. Like all these fish swim around you, I think we should do it like this in the future. We also encountered the sharks. I don't know what type of sharks they were, but I wasn't very thrilled to see them because if,
Yes,
let's
so you
say,
got nervous.
yes, because if it's a black-tip shark, I know what that is and it doesn't bother me. The white-tip sharks, which we also saw here, can be aggressive, but you have to provoke them somehow. And these sharks, I didn't like them.
So what kind of shark do you think this is? Tell us your opinion. They didn't scare me. They seemed curious, not behaving aggressively. But they didn't swim away, meaning usually their strategy is to swim, but when you try to get closer to them, they start to scurry away. But these sharks are so fearless. There were 2 and possibly more somewhere nearby. So Sergei got into the dinghy and strongly recommended that I do the same.
I like these sharks. They came here. Let's go.
I swam a little more, but they didn't seem aggressive to me, and
No, they behaved normally.
They were
I do
curious.
not think I was in danger, but it's like, I do not know. I prefer not to get involved.
before visiting a new place, I usually, or rather almost always, turn on YouTube and I enter the name of the place there and see what other people have filmed about it to make sure I don't miss anything important or interesting. So I turned on another channel about some yachtsmen, and there a woman was telling terribly scary story about this very Minerva Reef. There were several boats there at the time, about 10, and the people on the neighboring boat caught a fish. And these were cleaning it and were throwing all these scraps
As
right by
is
the
usually
boat.
always
It's
done.
all being done. Yes, well, she was a rather perceptive lady. I swam up to them and said, listen, could you please not throw your fish scraps here because you will attract sharks.
Well, the guy said, what's the big deal? Sharks here are all safe, so they continued doing what they were doing. The next day, this woman, she went out on the SUP to ride around and swim with a mask and snorkel. There is also a wreck, some kind of sunken ship, so it was really close to their spot. She swam over there. Shupi got started swimming, he looking around, and see a shark swam up to her. She got scared.
Because it was a 3-meter long dual
She
shark.
got on her says Esup, and the shark was huge, like it was about 1.5 times bigger than her Esup, and just a really huge shark, and that kind of thing can be scary. It was unclear if the shark was going to attack her, but it started swimming right around
And
her
under
SUP area. This woman started beating the shark with a paddle. The shark did not swimming around. In general, she was in a terrible panic. She fell off the SUP once. In short, a scary story, but eventually her husband saw it, came on the dinghy and picked her up along with the SUP, meaning she didn't receive any injuries, but she said she was terribly scared, and the shark for some reason wasn't planning to swim away from her in general.
It's because they attracted these sharks with fish scraps,
In general,
I'm sure.
yes. The moral of the story is that when you have a spot to stay and you want to swim there, and for your children to swim there, and it's an area where there are sharks, then it's probably not a good idea to bait them with fish scraps right where you plan to swim.
Understanding what you are doing and reading the behavior of other living beings in the wild is the key to your safety.
Yeah, and just Google where things are usually found. Because when we swam the first few days, we didn't know that there was this super large 3-meter shark here. We were lucky not to encounter it. But overall, it could have happened, and it's
But
unclear
we're
what
on
we
a
were
rubber
thinking.
boat. I don't
We do
think
not
it's
swim
dangerous.
directly
Well, agreed.
around the dinghy. There's some distance to the swimmer from that dinghy. In general, we didn't like the story. It made a big impression on us, and I think we will be even more cautious in the future.
I consciously know how to do all of this.
Here I met small, or rather medium-sized turtle. Interestingly, this turtle was also not very shy. As long as you don't chase it, it just swims around, and you can swim closer to it as long as you don't make any sudden movements. But then I called Sergey, and he swam over. And at first she behaved quite calmly, but when he chased after her, she of course started to swim away from him with such a speed that, well, you can see for yourself.
But I needed good shots, so there was no choice. I see a turtle and start chasing it.
But in general, it's better not to chase. That is, when you, on the contrary, freeze and act as if you're not very interested in her, she continues with her business, and you can keep swimming somewhere nearby and admire.
If I summarize what we saw, I can certainly say that the reef itself is not super rich, but I was inspired that it is wild, meaning this current it's in nature, and in that nature where there are no people, where animals are not afraid of human presence, where everything develops naturally, and you can come just to observe the development of corals, fish, anything, and not be afraid.
You're being sly. What you liked the most was catching a crazy amount of lobsters there.
But that was part of the game, yes.
My favorite part is that they are huge, and then for several days we were taking them out of the freezer, cooking something from them, and it was magnificent. It practically lasted us the entire crossing, almost to no
Well, and also we don't catch or hunt fish as if stocking up. We don't prepare it in advance. I mean, if with lobsters we caught 7 or 8 of them, that's what we need.
No, but you caught 3 in one day and 7 on another day.
Well, we ate them, yes. I mean, the ones we caught on the second day, because when we went to the reef, with a gun, we saw lobsters there too, but we didn't take them
there's
because
no space in the freezer.
I think not because of that, just why do we need more? Well, we have a supply of food for the crossing, and we don't need more. Therefore, if needed, we'll catch fish. But we don't stockpile kilograms of lobsters in advance. Overall, a very cool place. If somehow people are going from New Zealand to Tonga or from Tonga to Caledonia. Overall, the place is really worth visiting.
It is also very conveniently located.
Make a stop.
It's at such a good distance to take a break, rest for a few days, and just swim, watch.
Therefore, you can also visit the southern atoll, because actually this reef consists of two atolls, the northern and the southern one. We have only been to the northern one, and people say that the southern one is also very beautiful, magnificent. But the water there is not as calm because a swell comes in, and the swell comes in here too, but at high tide, when the reef protects less from waves, and if it's kind of low tide, then of course inside it's absolutely flat, and standing is very comfortable. Overall, the place is really recommended for a visit, even though there's no dry land here, because there's absolutely no dry land. Well, maybe except for that.
The tides have large
Spring tide.
amplitudes, that is during the full moon or new moon, the reef is exposed, and sandy spits and rocky coral surfaces are revealed. But we didn't catch that.
This happens only twice a month.
At another time, and we didn't have time to visit the second reef because the forecast kicked in, the wind picked up, and it was time for us to quickly move
We're
on.
leaving with the wind.
Yes.
What's this?
This is our traditional observation of the first day of transition, maybe the second too if we're lucky. There will be Olivier.
It's easier to prepare on the first day.
It's easier to prepare everything in advance, so you don't have to cook anything on the first day. You're hungry? You want it. There's either Olivier salad or instant soup or samosas. We have 3 options.
Everyone is
Everything
good.
is fine.
Well, folks, here we are at Minerva. It's a truly unique place on our planet that we couldn't possibly skip because we've heard so much about it. Missing it was simply not an option. I hope you was interesting what we filmed for you, showed you the underwater world, and basically told you how everything is arranged here. Subscription to the channel is a must. I want to see the subscriber numbers on our channel grow. We check the bell, write a comment, and that's probably it. See you in the next episode. Bye!